Today, we're going to dive into a simple but honestly pretty profound story that might just change how you think about stress. It's all about perception, time, and the incredible power of just putting our burdens down. Let's get right into it.
So let me start by asking you something. Have you ever had a tiny little worry? A task that should be manageable, but over time it just starts to feel huge? Like completely overwhelming? What is actually going on there? Well, the answer to that is the key to this whole story. So, to explore that question, I want you to meet our main character. His name is Arav, and he's carrying around a weight that absolutely no one can see. Now, Arav is 13. You'd think he'd be full of energy, laughing with his friends. But lately, that's all changed. He's kind of pulled back. You'll often find him sitting all by himself, just lost in his own head. That usual spark in his eyes, it's kind of dimmed and been replaced by this quiet worry.
So, what's the deal? What's going on inside his head? Well, first, the homework is just piling up. On top of that, there's this constant pressure of high expectations. And then, underneath all of it, is this really deep fear of letting people down. These are his silent burdens, and he feels like he has to carry them all by himself too scared to even mention a word to his closest friends. But then, on what seems like a totally normal day, in a totally normal classroom, something happens that becomes a huge turning point. And it's all thanks to a simple little lesson from his teacher, Miss Sen. Okay, so just picture this scene. Miss Sen walks to the front of the class, holds up a simple glass of water, and asks, "How heavy do you think this is?" Now, it sounds like a science question, right? But it is so much more than that. The kids start guessing, 200 grams, 300 grams, but they are all completely missing the point. And this is where the whole lesson just clicks into place. The teacher reveals that the actual weight, it's totally irrelevant. The real thing, the factor that changes everything, is duration. It's not about what you're holding, it's about how long you hold it. Just think about how that works. You hold the glass for a minute, easy, no problem at all. But hold that exact same glass for an hour, and your arm is going to start to ache. Now try to hold it for an entire day. Your arm could feel paralyzed, totally numb. The weight of the glass never, ever changed, but the effect on you becomes completely unbearable. And that's it. That's the connection right there. The glass of water, that's our worries, our stresses, our fears. The longer we just hold on to them by ourselves, in silence, the heavier and more painful they get, until we can feel completely numb, just unable to do anything. For Arav, this lesson isn't just some abstract idea. It's a lifeline. So after class, he decides to take this small, but just incredibly brave first step. I mean, what a powerful moment. By asking this, Arav isn't really talking about some hypothetical someone, is he? He's talking about himself. This is his very first attempt to put one of those heavy glasses down, just by admitting he needs a little help. It's a moment of pure, raw vulnerability. And Miss Sen's response is just perfect. It's so simple, it's so kind, and it's so true. She doesn't give him some complicated solution, she just reminds him, you're not alone. Sharing the weight, she tells him, that's how you make it manageable. So, armed with this brand new perspective, Arav does the one thing he was the most afraid of. He decides to be totally honest with his friends. And the reaction he gets is immediate and just so supportive. It's exactly what he needed to hear. All that fear he had about being judged, it was completely in his head. Instead of judgment, he found connection. He found solidarity. His friends were right there, ready and willing to help him the whole time. And this is the transformation right here. When you carry a burden all by yourself, it feels isolating and just impossibly heavy. But the second you share it, something shifts. You're not alone anymore. You're connected. And that connection makes both you and the entire group so much stronger. Okay, so let's zoom out from Arav's story for a second and bring this lesson back to all of us. Because, let's be real, we all have our own glasses of water that we're carrying. At the end of the day, it's not the size of the problem that crushes us. It's the silence around it that gives it all its power. The worries we hide, the fears we won't speak out loud, those are the ones that can truly, truly weigh us down. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. Who in your life is waiting to help you with the load? It could be a friend, a family member, a teacher, a coworker. Just identifying that person is the very first step to putting that glass down, even if it's just for a little while. And please, always remember this. Reaching out for help is not and never will be a sign of weakness. It's actually one of the greatest signs of strength. It shows you understand that connection is how we get through the weight of life together. Thanks for watching.